All right, so you want to join in on the 1,000,000 word challenge, also called Milwordy. 1,000,000 written words in a year. Or you might have modified it to fit your schedule better of 750,000 words or 500,000 words. Either way, how are you going to track that? I'm going to walk you through how I created my spreadsheet that I used in my last video on how to make those conditional formatting and doing drop-down lists and how to do all that. So let's just go ahead and get started. All right, this first tab here, I recommend your first tab actually being your rules, but this tab here is going to be your grand total. We're going to type up here. We always want to use headers. So we got month, the total for that month, what the goal is, and then the difference between the two. That way we can see quick access how things are. And since difference is a little long, I'm going to double click the line between D and E, and that will automatically make that word fit in there. Actually, it expands it so the word can fit. So now the months. So we're starting September 1st. And I just expanded it again. So September, October, November. I'm just pressing enter and that's helping me go down automatically. If I wanted to go to the right, I would press tab when I'm done with that cell. But all of that is there for you. January, February. Hopefully I don't misspell anything. If I do, I'm sure someone will let me know. August. All right, just 1 year. Okay, then here at the bottom, we're going to put grand total. Misspelling and mistyping are not the same thing. And I want this is going to be our first equation. So I want the sum, the total addition, of September to August. So when those numbers get put in, pulled over from the other pages, then I'll be able to see it. Right now it says 0. Now over here, I'm going to write in our goal. So our goal, actually, because I've already done the math, I'm going to show you a trick here. I'm going to put sum, and the goal is going to be what all of these equals, so I can double check my math. Now our goal is going to be 83334, and the reason I'm doing this because I know the first 4, by the way, I'm grabbing this little, left-clicking this little green box here, so I can just copy what I wrote already. But I've already done the math, and you'll see it right here in this goal box here, that if the first 4 months are 83,334, and the last 9 months, I'm doing quick math in my head, is 83,333, then that will equal incorrectly. I skipped a month, didn't I? Yeah, hold on. September, October, November, December, January, February, March, April. Oh, I skipped May. Oh, I'm sorry, May. Okay, back to it. So, watch magically when I insert 83,333 equals 1,000,000. Good thing to always check your math here. All right, so the difference, what I'm going to do is I'm doing the equal sign. That lets me know I'm doing an equation. Well, lets Excel know I'm doing an equation. And I want the total minus the goal equals negative 83,000. So I'm dragging this down, and here's the thing. Yes, I'm going to end up with pretty much the same numbers, but when I drag it down, notice how it's pulling the same 2 lines. And it's because everything is in line with each other, if that makes sense. By going down 1, the cells that I'm pulling from are going down 1 cell as well. So that's why dragging works in that situation. Now, me personally, I don't like this format of negative. I like the comma feature, comma style. So when it comes to my words. So I'll do comma, but if you notice, now I got decimal points, and I don't want those. So I'm going to click decrease decimal. Ta-da! And now it's a magically whole number again. And I'm going to do the same thing when I do the difference over here. But here, well, I pressed something. But here, I'm doing the difference between my total goal and my goal total. So same as before, where I take grand total minus 1 million. It's going to end up being negative million. And you see that same format. Well, I could do what I did up here, or I can click on these numbers already, click Format Painter. All it's going to do is set those formats that I had before. Now you see how it has all the pound signs? That just means that this block is not big enough to display what I need it to display. So if I double click between the H and the I, it expands. Now here's the other thing. Conditional formatting. I want this, so at a quick glance I can see how I'm doing. I want the difference squares, cells, to be red if I'm under 0, or green if I'm 0 or older. Or over, not older. I'm getting older. Alright, so to do this, I'm going to click on this different cell, click New Rule, and I'm going to click the second option, Format Cells that contain, and I'm going to say contain less than 0, and then I click on this Format button to expand it, and I want to fill the cell with red. And actually, I'm going to click more colors. Sorry, I like customize. I like a good hearty red. Nothing too crazy. I mean, it's kind of pinkish, but it's okay. But I think that's a good red. So now I have it. If that cell value is less than 0, it will be red. And then watch what happens when I click. Oh my god, it's red. So what I can do is Format Painter, make the rest of them red, and Format Painter. Now I want to do a single one, because if I did more than one, this one would be red and all the other cells that I click if I selected more than one cell to copy over to this section, if that makes sense. But right now, the way the rule is set, it's not going to be green if it's over 0. So what I got to do is set the green rule. So now I'm going to take cell value greater than or equal to 0, because if we meet the goal, that's great. We'll be equal to 0 and I'm happy. I'm going to select this green because it's not a bad green. It's pretty nice. I'm going to click OK. I'm doing Format Painter again just because I want this to be the same in all the cells. And here's a little trick to make sure. So I'm going to type 83,333 and it went green when I just typed it in right there. Now, while I'm here, even though it doesn't matter, but for later, I'm going to go ahead and hit the accounting comma style, and then I'm just going to hit the decrease zeros, decimals twice. Alright, so now you have your grand total slide. You can pretty it up and make your header, gray, just kind of spice it up a little bit. Maybe you want these to be, let's go green. Think positively. Start in the green and hopefully we end in the green. Things like that. You know what I'm going to do. There we go. Sorry, I gotta have it even. OCD. Now we're ready for our months. So we're starting in September. I kind of recommend color coding is pretty nice. So if we do a tab color, let's start this one at red, and then we'll go orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet, so on and so forth, down the line. But I'm going to walk you through this first one. So what we need is our day, our total for that day. Then we're going to write tab words. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these two cells, I'm going to copy them 1, 2, 3. Ta-da! Now, I like to color code and have this tab, this header here, match my tab color. That way I know where I'm at. So now, I am typing in the date and press enter. Now, if you notice, I'm going to do 3 here, but if I spell out September or if I put the T in, it just automatically goes to this one, which is not an issue. Then I'm going to bring this all down. Now I know there's 30 days in September, but watch what happens when I go further than the 30 days. It automatically saves me and starts with October 1st. So if that happens, you're good to go. Just make sure you got the right number of days. Now, while I'm down here, I'm going to put September total. And I actually need to expand this screen a little bit. There we go. I'm going to go ahead and set it up so when I take the sum of this section. Now, I can't see what I'm doing in the cell technically, but I do have this formula bar up here. And up here, I can close the parentheses and press enter, and it'll bring me back down, just showing that it's at 0. Right. Now I'm going to do goal. Now remember, on my grand total slide, the first 4 have an extra word per month. So here, oh, and actually, I'm trying to mirror my previous version as much as possible. I have this complete. I'll show you at the end. So September goal is going to be 83334. I told you I like the comma setup, but I got to take off the decimals. There we go. And now we can scroll to the top. And what I will do is put over here, I'm putting a daily goal. And the daily goal is going to be this monthly goal at the bottom divided by 30, because there's 30 days in September. And that's how many I got to get. What I did on my version as well, week total, not weekly, is I set it up so I would be counting by the number of days, not by every Monday, every Tuesday. Oh, I didn't even put in sum, by the way. I do that a lot. I just highlight. So sum of this block of totals here. And right now it's 0. But watch what happens when I type in 50, 80. See, it automatically sums it up for me. Now, that weekly total doesn't matter much if I don't have a goal to compare it to. So I'm putting week 1 goal. And this number is going to be our daily goal times 7. That'll be 19,000. So now, the reason I'm doing all these equations is because when I create more months, I want to have to change as little as possible by copying and pasting this page into those months. And I'll do one of those for you, and you'll be able to see the difference of how little it takes. Even right now, so I can continue. I'm making sure I'm in line with 7 days past the previous one, so it's just 7, 14, 21, 28. So now I can do week 2 total, but what I can do is Control C, Control V, which is just copy paste, and watch what happens when I did that. It shifted because I shifted 7 cells down here. It shifted my selection down by 7 cells. So that's why I make sure that these are exactly 7 cells apart. So now my week 2 goal can be squared away. Week 2 total. Now the week 2 goal, because I already did the math up here, all I'm going to do is tell this cell here to just equal whatever my week 1 goal cell is. Enter. No point in redoing the math. Now I'm just doing week 3. Oh, if I can type, total, Control C, Control V for paste. Ta-da! Alright, week 3 goal, and we're going to equal whatever week 2 says. And now I'm going to do week 4. Week 4 total, Control C, Control V, week 4 goal equals, there we go. The one thing we have left to do is making sure this total is tied to these word numbers here. Because right now, if I type 50, or 60, sorry, 50 there, nothing's happening over here. But if I create sum, open parentheses, and then I click the cell that I need for it to add, comma, the next cell I need, comma, third cell, comma, and then fourth cell, close parentheses. You see all of these highlighted. So now it's going, no matter what numbers I put in under words, it will give me the total for the day on that side. And now if I want that total to continue on, I just grab the green box and drag to the bottom. And now you see it says 0. And you can double check it by clicking here. 4 cells, good to go. The last thing we have to do before we press forward, besides delete these because I haven't written anything yet and it's not even September 1st, is to add our project list. So the way we do this, we're going to hit the Data tab up here at the top, click Data Validation. Even if you have the drop down, you want to hit Data Validation, that first option. And we're going to click under Allow the drop down menu to list. Now with the list, you want to make sure you write everything that you want it to write, to choose from. So, and then separate by a comma. So I'm going to pick work, I'm going to pick short stories writing, short stories editing. If you don't know about my shorthand here, please look at my first video where I go over my shorthand that I did. My second story, the outlining of it, second story writing, second story editing, and it's all divided by a comma. Alright, now I'm going to click OK. So I have that drop down menu for just this cell, none of my other cells. To make that crossover to my other cells, I grab the green box, drag it down, but it's not on these other rows that I need. So I will Control C while I have that column highlighted, highlight another row that I need, and click Control V. And now, since it's still giving me the rotating dashes, as I like to call them, I can just highlight the next group of cells and Control V, and I can highlight the last group of cells and Control V. And now, I'm pressing enter just so it recognizes it. Now you see all of these are done. About to show you a cool trick. I forgot to add my YouTube outlines on here. So, comma, YouTube outline, and that's how I'm writing it. So I'm adding an extra option for myself. If I click OK, it's just going to apply to this cell only. But if I click Apply these changes to all other cells with the same setting, notice how it highlights everything that I have. I'm just saying it's kind of a cool trick, especially if you forget something or your projects change as you evolve in this process. Something to consider. Now, if you create all your months, and let's say you're in December and you change your projects, that means you need to add that project to every subsequent month after that if you're going to continue working it. It only works if it's in the tab that you're in. It's not going to work in all future tabs that you copy and paste into. So now I'm going to click OK. And this pretty much summarizes this entire tab. One thing I am going to do is I'm going to go to View and click freeze top row, freeze panes, then freeze top row. Because this top row here, I like to always see it. And by freezing it, I now will always see it even no matter how I'm scrolling. The last thing I'm going to let you know about here is, as you notice, I got my week 4 total. Well, these last 2 days, and it'll be 3 days when it's, March and April's 30. But the months that have 31 days, they're not being counted towards these weekly goals. So if you're just hitting the weekly goals for weeks 1 through 4, you're not hitting your goal. You're missing potentially like almost 9,000 words when you have 3 days after week 4, technically. So with that, make sure you're counting these as well in your goals. Don't just skip these. Unless you're just super positive and over on these other days, you can throw in breaks. I am not holding myself to working Monday through Friday because since I have a job, I know some of my most productive time is on the weekends. Alright, so September is done. Let's show you how easy it is to create another month. So I'm going to create another tab, which I already have. Now I'm changing the tab color to orange, because why not? And plus it's October. I think it's kind of cool that it's going to be orange. I click this arrow in the left-hand corner so that everything's highlighted, and I Control C. You could also right-click, copy, right mouse click. Now I'm going to highlight everything in October's window, October's tab, and click Control V. Now it's pasted. Now here's the only changes I need to make. First, I am changing the background color here to be orange. Second, I am going to freeze this top row. Now you've already noticed by where my cursor is that my drop-down menu is already covered. The next thing I'm going to change is 31 days for our total. Now I'm doing okay because the monthly total is the same as September of 83,334, but when that changes, you want to make sure you're changing your goal as well. I need to change these headers or labelers at the bottom where it says September total and October goal to October total, October goal. And then for the date, I'm going to show you an easy thing. Just like before, oh come on, scroll up. Just like before where we only had to type in the first 3, we only have to type in the first 3 again, and then we can do it. As you notice, I just kind of wrote over what was previously in there, and I just typed 1 oct, 2 oct. But if you would like, you can write in over the actual September date, where I deleted the number 9 and then added 10, and press enter. I'm good to go. So now I'm going to highlight the first 3, grab the green box and drag it all the way down, and now because I know there's 31 days, I'm going to go to row 32. I need to bring this down. I actually need to bring the entire rows down to make sure that my drop down carries over to the last day. And the last thing that I have to do on this is my summary. This blue window is what it's calculated from. I need to make sure it calculates all days. So I just drag the blue window down to 31 and press enter. And that was so much easier than creating the first window. Because if you notice, my daily goal changed, my weekly goal automatically changed because I had more days to work with here. And I can now take this and copy and put it into another tab and have all my months done. The last thing when you have your months done that you should do is go back to your grand total page, and for these totals here, you want to tie it to your total in your tab. So September total, I will press the equal sign for September and click the September tab, scroll down to September total, and I'm going to just go ahead and press enter. And it gets me back to the page. So you see when I click on it, it says this cell is going to equal the September tab, cell B34. Now I'm going to do the same thing for October. October tab, and you see it popped up there because I clicked on the October tab. Click on October total, B34, press enter, ta-da. And then I would do that continuously. So that is how you do conditional formatting. That is how you tie your tabs together. So that way, now when I go through and I'm doing my writing, all I have to do is type my words, pick my project. Let's say it is that. Helps if I actually type the number of words. Let's say it was an awesome day. Why not? Writing. And I automatically have instant feedback from what I just did. So, best of luck. Join the team of doing 1,000,000 words or whatever your goal is, and I wish you the best, and stay tuned. We'll find out how this turns out.